A few months ago, I was having coffee with a friend of mine. She's 71, sharp as ever, takes good care of herself. And somewhere between the coffee and the muffin, she said something that stuck with me. "Maria, I spend so much time thinking about my heart, but nobody ever talks to me about my kidneys." She's absolutely right, and it surprised me too. We don't talk about kidneys enough. And maybe that's because they're quiet workers. They don't make noise when they need attention. They just keep filtering, cleaning, balancing, day after day. But here's what I've learned in 25 years of working with patients. The heart and kidneys are partners. When one struggles, the other feels it. So today, I want to share something with you. Not a lecture, not a scare. Just a conversation about 10 foods that many of my patients have found helpful for supporting kidney health. Some of these might already be in your kitchen. Some might surprise you. And one of them, number one on our list, is something that researchers are getting genuinely excited about. But before we dive in, I want to be clear about something important. This information complements your medical care. It doesn't replace it. If you're managing a kidney condition, please keep working with your doctor. And if you're on a restricted diet for potassium or phosphorus, some of these foods may need to be adjusted or limited for your situation. All right, let's start with number 10. I've organized these from 10 down to 1, with the food I find most interesting at the very end. But honestly, they're all worth knowing about. And I'll warn you now, some of these are surprisingly ordinary. No exotic superfoods shipped from distant mountains. Just real food you can find at your grocery store. Number 10. Cooked red cabbage. There's something beautiful about red cabbage. That deep purple color isn't just pretty. It actually means something. That pigment comes from compounds called anthocyanins, pronounced anthocyanins. And they're part of what makes this vegetable so interesting for kidney support. Let me explain how this works with a simple picture. Think of your kidneys like 2 coffee filters. Every day they're filtering your blood, catching waste, letting the good stuff through. Over time, just like any filter, they can get a little clogged, a little stressed. Anthocyanins seem to help ease some of that stress. They're antioxidants, which means they help calm inflammation at a cellular level. Now, I had a patient named Dorothy, 78 years old, came to me originally for heart concerns. But her kidney numbers weren't great either. Her doctor had her making dietary changes, and one thing she added was red cabbage, about 3 times a week. Nothing dramatic, just steamed or braised with a little olive oil and garlic. After a few months, she told me she noticed less puffiness in her ankles. Was it the cabbage? Was it other changes she made? Probably all of it working together. That's how these things usually work. What I appreciate about red cabbage is that it's naturally low in potassium and phosphorus, which means it's often friendlier for people watching those levels. One tip: skip the salt when you cook it. A squeeze of lemon at the end adds brightness without the sodium. Number 9. Watercress. Speaking of greens, let me introduce you to one that doesn't get nearly enough attention. If you haven't tried watercress before, you're in for something interesting. It's a leafy green, but it has this peppery, almost spicy quality that wakes up your taste buds. And beyond the flavor, there's some genuinely useful stuff happening in those leaves. Watercress has a gentle diuretic effect. That's a fancy way of saying it encourages your body to move fluid through naturally, which can be helpful when kidneys are working to manage fluid balance. But here's what I find more interesting. Watercress contains sulfur compounds that support your liver. And your liver and kidneys work together. When one is doing well, the other benefits. I think of it like a relay team. The liver neutralizes certain toxins, then passes the baton to the kidneys for elimination. When both are functioning smoothly, the whole system flows better. Unlike some leafy greens that are high in oxalates, which can contribute to certain types of kidney stones, watercress is relatively low in oxalates. That's a relief for folks who are stone-prone. To use it, toss a small handful into your morning smoothie or add it fresh to salads. Just don't cook it to death. The gentler you are with it, the more of those helpful compounds stay intact. Number 8. Fresh dandelion greens. Okay, stay with me on this one. I know dandelions are what most people try to get rid of in their lawn. But those leaves? They're actually something special. Fresh dandelion greens have been used for centuries to support kidney and liver health. And when I say fresh, I mean it. The dried supplements and bottled teas lose a lot of the active compounds. What makes dandelion interesting is a bitter compound called taraxacin, pronounced taraxacin. Bitter isn't just a taste preference. In the body, bitter compounds stimulate digestive and eliminative processes. For kidneys, this translates to gentle encouragement, more fluid moving through, better clearing of what needs to go. Now, I want to be careful here. If you're on a prescription diuretic, talk to your doctor before adding dandelion. You don't want to overdo the fluid removal. And if you're allergic to ragweed, you might react to dandelion too. For most folks, though, a small handful of fresh leaves in a morning omelet or smoothie is a gentle way to give your kidneys a little boost. Fair warning, they're bitter. Pair them with something naturally sweet like apple chunks or pineapple to balance the taste. One patient of mine, Harold, calls it his lawn medicine. He adds them to his green smoothie every other morning, and he swears it helps him feel lighter. Is that the dandelion specifically? Hard to say, but he's consistent, and that matters. Number 7. Fresh parsley. Here's one that's probably sitting in your refrigerator right now, being ignored. I'm talking about parsley, that humble little herb. Most people think of it as decoration, that little green sprig on the side of your plate at a restaurant. But fresh parsley is actually a workhorse for kidney support. It contains compounds that gently encourage urine production, helping your kidneys flush out excess sodium and certain waste products. And it's rich in chlorophyll, which is that green pigment that gives it its color. Chlorophyll has been studied for its ability to help neutralize certain toxins in the body before they can cause trouble. Now, the key word here is fresh. Heat destroys a lot of the beneficial oils in parsley. So rather than cooking it, try adding a big handful to smoothies or chopping it raw over soups and eggs right before you eat. I had a woman named Beatrice who made what she called kidney tea. She'd bruise fresh parsley leaves, steep them in hot but not boiling water for about 10 minutes, and drink it in the afternoon. She found it helped with the mild swelling she used to get in her hands. Again, if you're on diuretics or have specific kidney restrictions, check with your doctor first. But for most people, parsley is an easy and inexpensive addition. Number 6. Purple sweet potatoes. All right, this one might be new to you. You've probably had orange sweet potatoes. But purple sweet potatoes are a different experience. That deep violet color, just like in red cabbage, comes from anthocyanins. And these particular anthocyanins have been studied specifically for kidney protection. Here's what caught my attention. There's a process that can happen in damaged kidneys called fibrosis, pronounced fibrosis. It's basically scarring, where healthy filtering tissue gets replaced by stiff, non-functional tissue. Early research suggests that the compounds in purple sweet potatoes may help slow that process down. Now, I want to be clear. We're talking about early research, and eating purple sweet potatoes isn't going to reverse kidney disease. But as part of an overall supportive diet, there's reason to feel good about including them. What I also appreciate is that purple sweet potatoes have a lower glycemic impact than regular white potatoes. They don't spike your blood sugar as dramatically, which matters because blood sugar and kidney health are connected. My suggestion? Bake one in the morning. Eat it plain or with a little cinnamon and olive oil drizzle. It's satisfying, it's gentle on blood sugar, and it's giving your kidneys something helpful. Before we continue with the top 5, let me take a moment. If you're watching this and you have known kidney disease, especially stage 3 or higher, please work closely with your healthcare team before making dietary changes. Some of these foods, while healthy for most people, may need to be limited or avoided based on your specific situation. Your doctor knows your numbers. These are general suggestions, not personalized prescriptions. All right, let's continue with the top 5. Number 5. Red bell peppers. Now we're getting into some of my favorites. Red bell peppers are underrated. They're low in potassium, which makes them kidney-friendly for many people. They're high in vitamin C, which supports your body's natural repair processes. And they contain compounds like lycopene that help protect cells from damage. I love them because they're versatile and they taste good. Raw, they're crunchy and sweet. Lightly sautéed, they soften and become almost creamy. For kidney support, the appeal is that they offer nutrition without the potassium load that some other colorful vegetables carry. One of my patients, a retired engineer named Frank, started adding red bell peppers to his breakfast eggs every morning. He was on a mild potassium restriction, and finding vegetables he could enjoy freely was frustrating. Red bell peppers became his go-to. He'd slice them thin, sauté them in olive oil, and fold them into scrambled eggs. Simple, satisfying, and within his dietary guidelines. That's what I want for you too. Foods that work for your body, not against it. Number 4. Seaweed. Dulse, Wakame, or Nori. Okay, this one might seem unusual if you didn't grow up eating it. But seaweed has some genuinely interesting properties for kidney support. First, it contains iodine, which supports thyroid function, and your thyroid and kidneys have a relationship. When thyroid hormones are off, kidney function can be affected. Second, and this is what I find fascinating, seaweed contains compounds called alginates, pronounced alginates. Alginates can bind to certain heavy metals in your digestive tract and help escort them out of your body before they reach your kidneys. Over a lifetime, we all accumulate small amounts of things like cadmium and lead from food, water, and environment. Anything that helps reduce that burden is worth considering. Now, the key is choosing low-sodium seaweed. Some commercial seaweed snacks are loaded with salt, which defeats the purpose. Look for plain, organic varieties. You can crumble dried seaweed flakes onto eggs. You can add a strip of nori to a smoothie. You can use wakame in soup. It doesn't take much. A little goes a long way. Number 3. Red grapes with seeds and skin. Here's something I want you to pay attention to. When you eat grapes, eat the whole grape. Skin, pulp, and yes, even the seeds if you can. Most of the beneficial compounds in grapes are concentrated in the parts we usually avoid. The skin contains resveratrol, pronounced resveratrol, which you might have heard about in connection with red wine. Resveratrol has been studied for its anti-inflammatory and protective effects on blood vessels, including the tiny vessels in your kidneys. The seeds contain proanthocyanidins, pronounced proanthocyanidins, which are powerful antioxidants that support blood vessel flexibility. Why does that matter for kidneys? Your kidneys are essentially a network of extremely small blood vessels. If those vessels get stiff or inflamed, filtration becomes harder. Anything that supports blood vessel health supports kidney health too. I had a patient, an 83-year-old former piano teacher named Rose, who started eating a small handful of red grapes every morning. She'd freeze them, which made the seeds easier to crunch. She said it felt like eating tiny popsicles. After a few months, she noticed her blood pressure had come down slightly. Was it the grapes alone? Probably not. But she was also walking more, eating less salt, and being consistent with her other choices. That's always how it works. No single food is magic. It's the pattern, the consistency, the overall approach. Number 2, fresh lemon juice in the morning. This one is so simple it almost feels like it shouldn't work. But fresh lemon juice, especially on an empty stomach in the morning, can be genuinely helpful for kidney health. Here's why. Lemons are rich in citric acid. Citric acid binds to calcium in your urine, which helps prevent certain types of kidney stones from forming. For anyone who's had a kidney stone, you know it's something you never want to experience again. And for those who haven't, let's keep it that way. Beyond stone prevention, lemons have a mild alkalizing effect in the body. They also support hydration, which is one of the simplest and most important things you can do for your kidneys. The method is straightforward. Squeeze half a fresh lemon into a glass of warm water. Drink it within about 30 minutes of waking up, before you eat anything. That's really all there is to it. One tip: drink it through a straw to protect your tooth enamel from the acid. And use fresh lemons, not bottled lemon juice, which often contains preservatives. I do this myself most mornings. It's become a quiet little ritual. Nothing dramatic, but I've stayed consistent with it for years. Number 1. Kidney beans, soaked and softly cooked. And here we are at number 1. They're called kidney beans for a reason. They're literally shaped like the organ they support. Now, I'm not saying that's why they work. I'm saying it's a nice coincidence that happens to match what the research shows. Kidney beans are rich in plant-based protein, but unlike animal protein, they don't create as much nitrogen waste for your kidneys to process. They're high in soluble fiber, which helps your gut remove waste through digestion instead of putting all the burden on your kidneys. They contain magnesium, which supports healthy blood pressure, and blood pressure control is one of the most important things you can do for long-term kidney health. A study I came across found that older adults who included cooked kidney beans regularly in their diet saw improvements in certain kidney markers over about 3 months. Now, here's the crucial part. Preparation matters. Raw or undercooked kidney beans contain compounds called lectins that can make you sick. You need to soak them overnight, discard the soaking water, and cook them until they're completely soft. If that sounds like too much trouble, Canned kidney beans are fine too. Just rinse them thoroughly to reduce the sodium. Add them to soups. Make a simple bean salad with olive oil, parsley, and a squeeze of lemon. Pair them with rice for a complete protein. Simple, inexpensive, and genuinely supportive. Before we finish, I need to share some important safety information. If you experience any of the following symptoms, please seek medical attention right away. Severe swelling in your legs, feet, or around your eyes that comes on suddenly. Blood in your urine. Significant decrease in how much you're urinating. Confusion or difficulty concentrating. Chest pain or difficulty breathing. These could be signs of a kidney emergency. Please call 911 or get to an emergency room. For general kidney health, here are my partnership reminders. Keep taking any medications your doctor has prescribed. Don't stop or change your medications based on this video. If you want to make dietary changes, talk to your healthcare team, especially if you're already managing kidney disease. This information is meant to complement your care, not replace it. We're all in this together. So, here's where we are. 10 foods, some in your kitchen already, some maybe new to you. You don't need to eat all 10 every day. That would be exhausting, and honestly, a little boring. But what if you picked 3? 3 that sounded good to you, that fit with your life, that you could add consistently. That's where change happens. Not in perfection, in consistency. Your kidneys have been working for you every single day. Maybe it's time to work for them a little too. If you found this helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these foods are you thinking about trying? Drop a comment below and let me know. And if you'd like more conversations like this about supporting your health naturally alongside your medical care, consider subscribing. I put these videos together because I believe good information should be accessible. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.